and final main event is a super middleweight mayhem 6th round.
Coming to the ring, Boyce Sultan.
Ako nga pala si Boyce Sultan. Ah, sa Arita Boxing Club stable ako.
Kumusta naman po ang paghahanda sa training?
Ako pag yun naman, nag-ensayo ako ng maayos, tapos nag-sparring, tapos hard training talaga kasi magaling yung kalaban ko eh. Hindi ako pang talo niyan.
Ano naman ang kaman ng mga tao sa laban?
Maganda yan kasi makita ko talaga yung best ko. Kasi nag-ensayo ako ng grabe yung ensayo ko. Bukas na lang, tingnan nyo lang bukas. Na-surprise kayo.
Para kanino mo hinahanap ko?
Nalagot kong laban ko sa siyempre sa asawa ko, tapos sa mga taong nanonood. Yan lang po.
Mapapasalamatan.
Salamat lang nga pala sa Quadro Alas promotion, tapos sa bagong busing ko ngayon, sa amo ko sa gym na tinatrabuhan ko. Salamat ako ni si Rich. Tapos yung sino ba yun? Yung gano'n?
On the video, all Rivera.
Ako po si Rivera, na Magnitsod. Ka-stigil po ako ng legal na kamao at lalaban ako sa April 26.
Kamusta ang paghahanda ng training mo?
Paghahanda, mas maayos. Kondisyon na kondisyon at tandang pumatay at kaya pumatay.
Ano ang may papakita mo bukas sa laban mo?
Ay, siyempre, yung sinasabi ko lagi na panalo. At gusto ko, impresibo ang panalo ko. Gusto ko may bagsak.
Para kanino mo inaalay tong laban na to?
Ay, naalay ko to sa mga bayani ng Pilipinas.
And mga gusto mong pasalamatan?
Papasalamat ako una sa Panginoon. Binigyan tayo ng magandang kondisyon para sa laban na ito. At alam ko, pakiramdam ko sa katawan ko na kaya ko lumaban at kaya kong panalo ang laban na ito. Kaya maraming salamat sa mga sumusuporta sa akin. Bakan niyo po sa April 26 bukas.
Making his way to the ring, your very own, all Rivera.
Umiyak, di ka nakamao. Ang bagong henerasyon, ang bago yung abangan sa luna natutungtong. Mga mandirig mo, mga kamoy para kanyon. At balang araw ang isa sa amin magiging kampyon. Di ka nakamao. Ang bagong henerasyon, ang bago yung abangan sa luna natutungtong. Mga mandirig mo, mga kamoy para kanyon. At balang araw ang isa sa amin magiging kampyon. Representative, kami ng Mundalban. Malamang sa malamang kami ay palaban. Walang inaatrasan, lahat pinawalagan. Pagtunog ng bell ay hudyat na nandiyan.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. And welcome inside the Montalban Gymnasium here in the beautiful town of Montalban, Rizal. John Riel Casimero's Quadro Alas Promotion proudly presents Bakbakan sa Muntalban, the third punch, in partnership with the Municipality of Muntalban, Rizal, Payantog Sports, and Legal Nakamao Boxing Gym, in coordination with Mayor General Ronnie Evangelista and the head of Muntalban Sports Development Office, Mr. Elmer Ardaniel, and Vice Mayor Edgar Sison. All professional boxing bouts are sanctioned by the Games and Amusements Board Chairman, Attorney Francisco J. Rivera, GAB Commissioners, Mr. Angel Bautista, and Attorney Manuel Plaza III. Chief of Boxing and Other Contact Sports is Mr. Rodil Manao. This bout is 6 rounds of boxing in the super middleweight division. The 3 judges scoring at ringside are Noel Haduca, Elmer Costillas, Engineer Greg Ortega. The third man in the ring, the man in charge of the action, is Carlo Baluyo. Muntalban Rizal, mag-ingay! This is our main event. The fight is on! Introducing first, the fighter in the blue corner, wearing black, official weight 163.3 pounds. He has a record of 10 victories, 6 defeats, 1 draw with 5 knockouts. From Zamboanga del Norte, damas y caballeros, Boyce Sultan! And his opponent, the fighter in the red corner, wearing red with blue, official weight 164.4 pounds. His record, 22 victories, 5 defeats, 0 draw, and 18 knockouts. From Legal Nakamao, Muntalban, Rizal, your very own, Rivera!
Okay, here we go on the first round of the main event of the evening. Again, this is a fight between all the magnitude Rivera from Legal Nakamao, definitely an ace of Team Montalban on the red corner.
And on the blue corner again, it's Boyce Astro Boy Sultan Jr. from Areta Boxing Gym. And here we go for the 6-rounder event. First round of the main event of the evening. And our Astro Boy
Heavy strikes
getting very, very aggressive in
coming
the first
from the
round
Astro
of the
Boy,
evening.
throwing a power hook.
And the magnitude is being very thrifty
He's
with his
being
punches,
pushed on the ropes.
taking onto the defense early on. But this is just the first round, partner.
Yes, but for some reason, Astro Boy is being very, very aggressive, trying to push the magnitude on the ropes.
You can actually feel the intensity of the punches between the 2 super middleweight fighters right here.
Yes,
if you think
definitely.
about it,
This is
mass
a
really has
super-
something to do with punches.
and the power, yes, of the punches.
But then
Now,
again, we're looking at
Astro
both.
Boy is being pushed on the corner. Good defense from the magnitude.
All right, they're both coming in strong on the first round of the evening.
Body shot.
And there we go.
Body shot by the magnitude.
The magnitude that entered. That entered. And Astro Boy on the backhand foot,
Astro
trying to
Boy
wind up
throwing
on an
the
overhand kick.
throwing an uppercut, only
there
to
we
be countered by
But
some short punches by
He
Rivera.
does have a good guard, but not as good as the
Good
all
jabs.
magnitude guard. So In terms of the record, the Magnitude actually has a lot of fights under his belt.
Imagine the number of KOs.
That's 22 wins, 18 KO.
So we
That's
might
an
be
amazing
seeing
record.
another KO tonight.
But let's just not discount what Astro Boy can pull up tonight. We'll never know until these things happen.
Well, there seemed to be a difference in height and the length.
And Magnitude has an advantage on both ends. But then again, Astro Boy is making the most of his physical characteristics.
Good counter.
Good
from
counter
each.
for the Magnitude Rivera. Let us see
As Astro Boy tries to counter and he sinks.
a counter of a counter.
Yes.
And there we go, Astro Boy trying to invite the Magnitude to get into his circle. But then again,
making the Magnitude miss.
but Rivera is actually very good in being very patient, showing his experience in this game.
Good stiff
That's a
jab
good stiff jab.
from the Magnitude.
And here we go. Let's
Body shot from Astro Boy.
now Rivera is on the ropes, but then again the ref calls them out. They're
Power
back
hook
into the
did
middle.
not land. The straight grazing the Magnitude in the head.
Astro Boy Sultan
Good head
actually
movement.
moves very good for
Good
someone
head
with his
movement
weight.
from the Astro Boy.
Is very agile. 10 seconds of the first round. That's a very good
power
round.
punches.
It could be a feel-out round,
Good
but then again,
straight.
we're looking at a lot of power punches already. The round is
End
just
of
ended.
the first round. Very exciting first round. Power punches released,
Power punches from
unleashed
super middleweight fighters. You
by
can
both
feel those
corners.
punches.
Yes, yes. With this, partner, you can say that a TKO or a knockout
Could
can
be possible.
happening
Could be
really
possible.
Soon, really soon.
I mean, I still haven't moved on from the ninth bout, but let's see what this fight has in store
Again,
for us.
this is a super middleweight mayhem, and we're entering the second round of the last and final bout of the evening. Tingnan natin how this will unleash, and we'll see
Rivera did not even sit down. He's
The
standing all the
aggression
way up.
from
Sultan is taking his
Sultan,
time.
the Astro Boy, if he's able to keep the intensity like he showed on the first bout or first round.
Round two. Rivera quick to the center of the ring. Astro Boy on the hind.
Jab from the
Stiff
Magnitude.
jab from the Magnitude into
Pushes
Astro
back.
Boy.
Good
Astro Boy with a
counter
good jab,
jab.
counter jab as well.
Good straight. Short hook from the Magnitude.
Rivera on red and blue trunks. Sultan on the black trunks. Sultan Astro Boy.
Pushed
Rivera
on the
the
corner.
Magnitude.
Body shots from the Magnitude. Power shots.
Both fighters are actually showing relentless pursuit.
Sultan came out with a counter of his own, only to be pushed away. And now he's still in the corner. The Magnitude.
Both
seems to be
fighters are actually
banking on
putting up a good
power-
show tonight, Coach.
Power shots to the body, though.
And that's a good straight right, and a weave to the side. A misdirect by Sultan Astro Boy. 1-2, and an uppercut.
Good head movement by Rivera.
I'm surprised that for a super middleweight, Astro Boy actually moves very fast.
Yes, well, for the two boxers, he's the smaller boxer.
Uh-huh.
So the footwork will be.
And
from
there we
him.
go. We can see
A good
a
straight
good straight entering.
uppercut
favor,
from
uppercut.
the Magnitude.
And here it
now
comes.
a flurry of punches. The Magnitude
Boy's
trying to finish
fight
it
against
on
on
the
the corner.
second round.
Uh-huh. And a quick
Body
clinch right
shots
there.
are putting Astro Boy to the corner.
That actually excited the crowd here in Montalban Gymnasium.
Uppercut, counter.
Everybody wants to see a KO as well, but let's see if both fighters can deliver.
Jab, stiff jab lands
Stiff jab
on the head
of
of
Sultan.
Astro Boy. Power shot is blocked.
The Magnitude Rivera is very defensive on this fight. Astro Boy Sultan is edging always to the front, but now he's trailing with his defense. I think he felt
Uppercut.
the body.
Straight.
I think
Good
they-
defense from the Astro Boy.
the body punch earlier had an effect on Sultan. What do you think, Coach?
Yes, well, accumulating body punches will,
And that's a stiff jab to the head
will
of
take
Sultan.
its toll to your footwork.
Rivera is actually using a southpaw stance, right?
Yes.
Both fighters actually. Oh no, Sultan
Sul-
is in an orthodox stance.
Rivera is doing the orthodox.
The
Yeah, Rivera, the magnitude.
That's a
Power
quick
strike.
uppercut. That's a quick uppercut, coach. And
Pushes him against the rope.
Sultan is on his back. Sultan is getting slow, but still fighting through.
But Sultan is quick to recover.
All right, 10 seconds count. Will Rivera make this count and end this
Good
bout?
counter from
Good counter
Astro Boy.
All right. Astro Boy Sultan actually has a good reference, and there we
And
go.
of the second round. So far, Astro Boy is still standing his ground, although he's absorbed a few power punches, some scary punches coming from.
Yeah.
The magnitude.
That was actually an uppercut that landed straight flush to his chin, pulling him backwards to the rope, coach.
You can say it's a magnitude of a punch
Magnitude
coming
this is.
from Rivera. Heavy punches from Rivera. But you can say because of the skill of Astro Boy, he's able to cancel off a percentage of that punch by throwing his head away or stepping back a little bit. So it cancels off a percentage of the power of the punch.
But
It's not
the-
absorbing all of
But the
power.
agile movements of Astro Boy, coach,
Yeah, we have to
is
give him
sapping-
credit for his.
but he's
footwork.
sapping out his energy because he's moving a lot.
He is, but he is the smaller boxer, so it's natural for him to be moving around.
So I think stamina is a good, proper aspect of this game tonight. It has
Yes,
a lot to play.
But those body punches, those thundering body punches,
And I felt that. I felt
Yes.
that hook right there, coach.
will take its toll.
All right, the magnitude Rivera
That's
is
a
showing
stiff
us the
strength.
reason why he is actually the magnitude. But then again, Astro Boy is still on defense,
Power
counter
upper.
and a power upper.
Now his
Stiff
back
jab,
is on the
jab,
corner.
and a hook, and a hook,
Power
and an uppercut.
punches to the body from the magnitude.
All right, the Rivera, magnitude Rivera is actually getting busy on the third round of this fight. But Astro Boy is still throwing counter punches despite being on the defensive.
Yes, but he's always being pushed to the corner by Rivera.
And a bob and a weave is on a different location. We are seeing a slight reversal here. Let's see if
Short hook
the back of the head.
from
Was that
the
the back of the
Astro
head?
Boy. Short hook from the Astro Boy after the referee.
And there we go. That's two hooks in favor of Rivera against Sultan. Oh, that's a right
Power
hook.
hook by the
Rivera,
magnitude.
the magnitude Rivera. You're really feeling the magnitude, coach.
Yes, well, the punches is with
Oh,
power. What a
What a
strike!
surprise!
What a
what a
shocking
straight-
strike!
What a
Coming
shocking
from
change
the
of the evening
Astro Boy.
tonight. Boyce, Astro Boy Sultan lands a knockdown against Rivera.
And that straight doesn't seem to be powerful enough to,
It was just a flick.
yeah.
But that tells you how much power comes from a punch of a super middleweight fighter.
Now, the magnitude is turning the tables, throwing a flurry of punches.
But the magnitude
To the
could
Astro
not
Boy.
afford to be reckless, coach. In my opinion, what he needs to do now is to be calculated with his punches. Because if he
He's
goes,
trying-
oh, there we go.
There you go. Now,
A knockdown.
the magnitude knocks
Wow.
down
Wow.
Astro Boy.
What a reversal.
With a power
What a
uppercut
reversal.
as he
by
pushes him
the
to the
magnitude
corner.
Rivera. Boy Sultan on the 7th count. He's up. He's up.
Astro Boy
He's up.
gets the count, but he's up.
He's up. Both fighters have now.
Let's see
Let's see.
if
Low
Rivera
blow.
is going to finish.
Low blow. And that's a low blow
Oh, it's a low blow.
against Rivera. And Astro Boy is on the ground.
Now this will give Rivera his recovery because of the low blow.
But
He
you come,
gets a referee's
come to think about
timeout
it,
for this.
this is a different kind of action that we were expecting. We thought that we would not see any more action compared to the 9th round. But here you go with more action happening on the 10th.
This is the super middle heavyweight So we're seeing some and hearing some thunderous punches coming from the magnitude, and an exchange of
All right.
knockdowns happening.
Astro Boy was protesting, saying it was an intentional hit on the groin.
But this is just the first groin shot of the round. So he will get a referee's timeout to recover. But
I just hope that he will not use this to his protest if in case this fight goes.
It will not count because this is just one instance.
All right.
But
Okay.
he will get the necessary rest
So the-
that he needs.
So that's Carlo Baluyot. Our referee Carlo Baluyot is giving time on Astro Boy Sultan to recover after what seems to be, was it an accidental groin shot, coach?
Yes, but this is coming right after the actual knockdown that happened to Astro Boy.
Let's talk about that knockdown. One knockdown in favor of Sultan, and a few seconds after, Rivera reverses with a knockdown of his own.
So you can say it's an even match, but it's the number of flurries that the magnitude has unleashed on this round that might give him the edge.
All right.
This will not score him down on his scorecard because this is just one instance of a low blow.
So both
He's
fighters
getting enough
are getting
time to
enough
recover.
time.
Yes, he's getting enough time to recover as a referee's timeout.
I just hope that that Sultan will not flop on this fight, coach, because if he's going to throw away,
He cannot. Because as far as a knockdown is concerned, he earned himself a knockdown.
Oh, there we
in
go.
this fight. There you go.
all right, I like it. I
The
like
fight
it.
continues.
Both fighters up on their feet, up on the center.
But both have rested already.
Let
And
us
you can
see.
see an aggression on the magnitude with only
10 seconds remaining on
remaining.
on the third round.
Good counter.
That's a heavy counter.
Good
Both,
punches.
both fighters
From
in the
the
center.
Astro Boy.
There we go, Astro Boy.
Pushing back.
Oh my God! Saved by the bell.
Well,
Wow!
I have to give it to Astro Boy. He was landing cleaner hits
Very
during the
clean hits.
last 10 seconds of the bout.
The referee saw a very good, clean 5 punches in favor of Astro Boy. So he really took that personal, coach, didn't he?
Well, the recovery from that timeout gave him that extra burst
All
that
right.
he unleashed on the last 10 seconds of the
That is
fight.
the third round for this fight. We're now proceeding to the 4th round. And ladies and gentlemen, we wanted a fight this evening. We got a fight. This is a well-deserved main event of the evening here in Bacan sa Montalban, brought to you by Quadro Alas Promotions.
Definitely a super middleweight mayhem 6th round bout. Now we're at the
4th round.
4th round of the evening.
Round 4. Super middleweight mayhem. Astro Boy Sultan on the black trunks. The Magnitude Rivera, red and blue.
We will expect Rivera to be more aggressive because of what happened on the previous round.
On the last count.
He's now pushing Sultan to the
Sultan
corner.
is on the corner right now, but Sultan is giving up a fight, coach.
Power short hook from the Magnitude and a jab.
Okay, in fairness to Astro Boy is also relentless in his assault and his attack. But then again, the Magnitude is also making good with all his punches against Sultan. Both
Good
fighters
defense.
giving a good defense, but a good flurry. A
Body
body shot.
shot.
But Sultan is laughing and smiling, saying, it's not hurting, it's not hurting. And he's giving his own side.
Putting him in the
Both
corner.
fighters seem to be giving his
Flurry!
side. Oh, flurry attack by Sultan. But landing flush.
Magnitude raised his hand to show
No!
everyone
That is a
it's
right
not
straight.
affecting him.
Oh,
Power
that's a good hook.
shots. Clean shots from the Magnitude.
Both fighters seem to be mocking each other, coach.
Well, it's a show of saying to everyone.
I saw a liver
"I am
shot
not
just now."
affected by your punches.
I'm seeing an actual liver shot that landed on the liver of Sultan by way of Rivera. But then again, Sultan doesn't seem to
But
be
I
faced.
think we're close to seeing a knockdown another knockdown or maybe a knockout really, really soon.
Let us see. Let us see. Oh! Oh! That is a very...
That might earn
That is a
the
sucker
magnitude
punch.
a warning.
That is a sucker punch against... Was it Sultan who threw the first sucker punch?
He might get a warning for this. Let's see what the referee will call.
A deduction.
He gets 1 point deduction
1 point deduction against
for the
Rivera.
misconduct. 1 point deduction for this round. Now he knows he has to be a little more aggressive.
That's quite unsportsman for someone who represents Montalban. I hope he makes good with this round.
Well, the intensity of the match, you can actually count it as like a continuous reaction. Now that he's down on this round, you can expect that the magnitude will become a little more
The
aggressive.
left glove of Rivera has come undone, so the referee has put a temporary hold on the fight to tell Coach Jandel of Team Montalban to take to
This pauses will actually give each fighter
their
the
much
rest.
needed rest.
Yes, so we're gonna see a more explosive exchanges of punches once the
Coach,
timeout is
we're
off.
actually seeing a lot of action, Coach.
Right, well, right now we're gonna be seeing the magnitude try to be more aggressive
In
because
order
of the
to make
deduction.
up for the deduction. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And we're
And
gonna be
Sultan is
seeing
on the
Astro Boy.
one corner.
We might see Astro Boy try to gain his composure.
And here we go.
Keep
Let us see how
his
both
advantage in this
both
fight,
fighters have
in
become
this round.
affected with the happening of the rounds.
Now you see.
You were
see
right.
him getting
You were right.
aggressive.
But then again, there's just a reversal from Sultan. So both fighters are actually equally paced. Both fighters are equal in their aggression, Coach. Sultan, relentless action against Rivera.
Rivera putting is on the ropes.
Both fighters need to take care of their heads lest they actually end up in an accidental headbutt.
Good straight from the Astro Boy.
That's the end of the fourth
What
round.
an exciting round!
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a fight. We have a fight. That is a good fight. Brought to you by Quadro Alas Promotions, Bakbakan sa Montalban.
Ito na ang huling bakbakan ng bakbakan sa
Sabi nga nila,
Montalban. The
I
final
got my
round.
money's worth tonight.
The final match of the evening on the 5th round.
So, Coach, we may not have had an early KO, but we had an exciting fight for the last bout.
Well, Astro Boy is standing his ground. And he's showing a good set of skills as far as footwork and counter punching is concerned. In fact,
So, experience is showing
he's
for both
taunting-
fighters, Coach.
he's taunting magnitude to be reckless on his boxing.
And now we are on the 5th round, just like that, Coach.
Last 2 rounds for the main event of the evening.
Both fighters still showing a lot of stamina, a lot of strength for super middleweight, and you really have good skills. Astro Boy is mocking Rivera, but then again, they just ended with a stiff jab that landed on Astro Boy, but he seems to be unfazed with the advances of Rivera.
Astro Boy seems to be the showman between the two.
I agree. And now that's a clinch from both fighters.
It seems that Astro Boy is also doing a southpaw stance, but none
Rivera
of
has-
Rivera's punches has landed clean.
Rivera has to lift off his punches, lest it becomes that again. And right now,
There
Rivera
you
is on
go,
the corner.
flurry
Astro
of
Boy
punches
is giving him a
from
hard
Astro
time.
Boy.
Both fighters are giving their all, but Rivera is on the ropes. And the clinch, the referee is asking them to break. I'm impressed, Coach. I'm very impressed with how this fight is turning out. Rivera, a little bit of showboat there, but then again, oh, that's a slip.
It's a slip. It's a slip.
It's a slip.
Power punches.
Power punches from
Again,
from
Rivera.
from Sultan, Astro Boy.
Sultan, Astro Boy. Is putting the magnitude on the ropes for the 5th round.
This is a good matchup, coach. This is a good
Definitely.
matchup. Both fighters seem to be equally skilled.
But for this round, the aggression is coming from the Astro Boy.
Indeed. So right now, that's a good left hook by
From,
Sultan Jr.
from Astro Boy. Good counter punching being displayed. And now,
A little bit of a
trying
showboat.
to be a showman.
Astro Boy
Astro Boy.
showboating, taunting the magnitude to come into his game. And it's a
Good
good stiff
left
jab.
hook. Clean left hook. Power straight. Pushes Astro Boy to the ropes.
There we go.
But it seems that the gas for the magnitude is
Running out.
running out.
The same thing for Astro Boy. You
But
can see
Astro
that
Boy has the footwork. He still has the energy.
he's still jumping around on some
to
2 feet.
showboat a little.
Last 10 seconds of the 5th round.
Last
a
10
quick
seconds.
uppercut by Rivera. But then again, Astro Boy comes to the flurry of punches.
Good.
A hook
Good
by Astro Boy.
exchange.
Showboating. End of the 5th round.
End of the 5th round. We have to give it to the Astro Boy because this time he's showing skill. Footwork and counter punching with a little bit of showboating.
It's like telling, hey, Rivera, you may be the magnitude, but I ain't scared of you.
And he's putting a little bit more of the entertainment on an already
And
entertaining
everybody
match.
is loving it, coach. Everybody in Montalban State
In
Gym
fact-
Nation is loving it.
In fact, I think Astro Boy is starting to win the crowd too.
That's quite a reversal for someone from Montalban not
Let's
earning
see how the magnitude is going to answer that on the last and final
championship
round.
round. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now on the 6th round for the 10th bout of the evening for the super middleweight mayhem.
This is the final round of the evening.
And here we go.
Final round.
Both fighters
Now-
now showboating. Rivera with an early
Rivera
showboat.
is exploding, putting the Astro Boy on the corner.
But then again, you can't discount the quick punches that Astro Boy is throwing. Those are heavy punches, coach.
Yes, but it's only landing on
The defense
Astro Boy's
of Astro
defenses.
Boy.
good body shot, good
And a
left
good hook. Left hook on the
Landing
head
on the
of
face of
Astro
Astro
Boy.
Boy.
A quick jab on the face of Rivera. Both fighters are now exchanging good bouts, good flow,
Good left hook from the Astro Boy.
and they're now infighting. They have
I
to be
think-
very careful with their heads.
I think magnitude is starting to run out of gas. If the Astro Boy will throw more body punches, that might.
But he has to be very careful now, coach, because he doesn't need Astro Boy seeing that. If there's an uppercut by Rivera and a quick hook.
Uppercut!
Quick uppercut.
There you go. Flurry of punches from the
Flurry of
magnitude.
punches, both
landing
landed,
on the head
hook, and
of the
an uppercut.
Astro Boy.
But still, Astro Boy is able to hang on despite a good hit from Rivera. Now Astro Boy clinches.
That flurry threw Astro Boy's head in the air for a number of times.
Here we go. Let's see if Astro Boy can still answer after that onslaught from Rivera.
Now, it seems that the magnitude has gained the energy. But Astro
Astro
Boy
Boy is-
still has that energy to even showboat.
Flicking out his tongue, showboating to the crowd.
He's the entertaining of
Astro
the two.
Boy has earned the approval of the
Entertainer.
crowd tonight.
Short hook, short
They're
uppers.
now in fighting with short hooks and short uppercuts. Both fighters
Flurry.
making the round count.
Uppercut landing
Here we
on
go.
Astro Boy's head.
That's an uppercut from Asuboy. An
good
uppercut also
exchange
from
of-
Rivera.
Of punches. But you can tell that Astro Boy has a strong chin. He is eating those punches and not even phased.
Astro Boy has a lot of heart in this fight. That's the back of the head. All right, a warning against Astro Boy by the referee for hitting on the back of the head. But just like that, they're back on track. We are now on the final minutes of the fight.
Last 10 seconds. Last 10 seconds, and let's see
Let's make it
if
count.
the two
7,
is gonna
6, 4, 3,
exchange punch.
and we're done.
And done. That was a very exciting match.
Congratulations to both
Astro Boy
fighters.
stood his ground against the magnitude.
Rivera
to the
pleasing
judges'
the crowd
scorecard.
with his raised hand. But then again,
Ako
it's
personally, partner, parang nahirapan
too hard
ako.
to tell. It's too hard to tell,
Nahirapan
Coach. I hate to be a judge right now.
Yes.
I hate to have the job of the judge right now.
At
Ang masasabi
first-
ko lang sa judges, bahala kayo dyan.
At first, I was giving credit to the magnitude because of the power of his punches, but he seemed to run out of gas. And apparently, Astro Boy has a larger gas tank and a strong chin.
And I was looking at, I was basing my early opinions based on their records, thinking that the magnitude has had more fights. So probably Astro Boy, maybe an easy fight for him tonight, but I was mistaken. I was wrong. I was impressed with what Astro Boy showed tonight here in Montalban Gymnasium.
He showed heart, chin, and a very entertaining game. Let's see what the judges has to say.
Kudos to Areta Boxing Gym, where Boyce Astro Boy Sultan Jr. comes from.
Let's see what the judges will say for this bout. Nahirapan ako.
Let us see. And right now, we go to the judges' scorecards.
It was entertaining to watch. And I have to give credit to Astro Boy for putting more entertainment on his game, being a showboat and a crowd pleaser.
We may not have had a KO, but we got a pleasing fight tonight, Coach.
Yes.
That was a very entertaining
In
fight.
fact, I think he won some of the
Crowd.
crowd who's supposed to be cheering for the magnitude being from
The
Team
hometown
Montalban.
favorite.
Yes. Let's see what the judges has to say. We leave the announcement to our announcer.
Julian Navarro. I'm actually excited to find out who won.
I will not be surprised if this will be a draw.
After 6 rounds of professional boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges, Greg Ortega, Noel Haduka, and Elmer Costillas, scores the bout 57-56 for your winner by unanimous decision, your very own All Rivera!
And the judges favored
To be
all
awarded
the
by
magnitude Rivera
Mayor Ronnie
to win
Evangelista
tonight's
together
bout.
with
I
Councilor
think it's the first
Ako
round
and Councilor
where the
Ona
magnitude
of Montalban,
landed a
Rizal,
knockdown
and
to
also
Rivera or to
board
Sultan.
member
So I
Romel
think that's what gave
Ayuson
him the win. Plus the
and
power
Councilor
punches. He's really-
Ivan
he's amazing.
Rodriguez.
But what I can say here, Coach, is that even if Rivera won tonight, it wasn't an easy fight for him.
Definitely was not. Although the judges scored it as a unanimous decision, all of the rounds might have been in favor of the magnitude Rivera. This is according to the judges' scorecards, though.
So that brings the record of Rivera to 23 wins as of tonight. Still with 18 KOs, 5 losses, 0 draw. And Boyce will now have a record of 10 wins, 5 KOs, 17 losses, 0 draw. But nevertheless,
I'll give my thumbs up to the Astro Boy, though, for being
yep,
a showman.
showman, and
putting more
I'm
entertainment.
very impressed that despite his size and mass, he was
Yes.
very quick on his feet.
Yes, his footworks and his counters were very, very skillful.
Very skillful. So coming from Rivera Boxing Gym, you guys are training your fighters very, very well. But tonight, the better man won.
And that
And
is
once again,
in the person of all the magnitude Rivera.
congratulations to Ligayan
Alright,
Kamao
kasama natin
from
ngayon
Team
ang
Montalban.
ating buong
This is their
kapanalo na
5th
si
victory for the evening, coach.
Rivera.
Definitely
Your
rocking
very own from
the
Ligayan
wins
Kamao
tonight.
Boxing Gym Montalban, Rizal. Al, ano yung pakiramdam mo ngayon na parang excited? Bitin ka pa ba? Bitin? Ano yung pakiramdam mo ngayon na naipanalo mo itong laban sa harap ng iyong mga kababayan dito sa Montalban, Rizal?
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Ako po unay nagpapasalamat sa ating butaying mayor na si General Ronnie Evangelista at sa lahat ng nanonood ngayon. Ako po ay nagpapasalamat sa inyo at sa mainit ng sumunta. Siyempre, ako po ay nagpapasalamat din siyempre unang-una suri ko sa Panginoong Diyos na binigyan ako
Coach, ayun na lang, ay
dito.
attorney.
Ganun
Ako'y
din naman ang
naka-weight
ating
cut.
nakalaban at sa lahat ng mga lumaban. Bigyan tayo ng lakas ng loob para pumunta sa taas, para gawin natin ang ating misyon bilang isang professional boxer. Marami pong salamat, kuya. Sir, marami pong salamat.
And there you go. That
Congratulations.
concludes
Siyempre
our
kasama
event
rin
for the
natin
evening.
ngayon ang pinakamayaman dito sa Montalban na si Rich Don Sakalam. Ayan. Ano naman yung mga plano mo sa mga susunod dito sa bayan ng Montalban?
Bago lahat, maraming salamat sa kay ating Mayor, General Ronnie Evangelista, kay Vice Mayor, Umpeg, kay Umali, Konsehal Umali, kay sa lahat ng mga konsehal dito.
So that
Maraming
concludes
salamat, no.
the Bakbakan in Montalban event.
Brought to you by Quadro Alas Promotions. It was a very good evening, coach.
Very, very successful event. We want to congratulate
Congratulations
Alright,
to all the winners.
Ang
of
all of
tonight's
the
pinakamayaman sa
winners.
Montalban, Rich Don Landito. Muli makita-kita po tayo sa mga susunod po ang promotion. Handog sa inyo ng ating 3-Division World Champion, John Riel Casimero. Ito po ang Quadro Alas Promotion.
Congratulations.